Greetings colleagues, welcome to the second tutorial as it relates to Excel. You may be desirous of exporting a workbook as a PDF file. To do this, you can come to File, you go to your Backstage view and you go to Export and you would select here and it's already PDF and I can save. You may also want to change the file type. You can do this by, instead of creating the PDF, you come to change file type and you select the one that you would like to save that new document as, right? So you see they have Excel 97 to 2003, that would be earlier versions, as well as there are some others that you can utilize if you are desirous of doing this. So if I select here, okay, and then all I would need to do is save, or if I want to change the file name. You can share workbooks as well. So you go to the Backstage view and you select the share option and you decide how you would like to go about sharing, whether it's via email or sharing with people. Whenever you are working with Excel, you'll enter information or content into what we call cells, and they are basically the building block of the worksheet. So you would need to learn the basic of cells and the cell content in order to calculate, analyze, and organize data into Excel. So in terms of understanding the cell, every worksheet is made up of rectangles, as you can see, and they are called cells. So this here, they're called cells. And the cells is basically the intersection of a row and a column. If you look carefully, this is the column, this is the row. So the columns are identified by letters A, B, C, and if you continue, if you look here, you see A, B, C, D, and it continues. However, the rows are identified by numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So columns identified by letters, rows by numbers. Each cell would have its own name or cell address, and this is based on its column and row. So for example, if I have C here, right, and I have this cell here, so this is a cell, this is a row. So in this case, I notice that the selected cell, it intersects with column C, and you are seeing row 8. So the cell address would be C8. C8, meaning it's in column C and it is in row 8. If you look carefully, you would see it's right here. So C8. Okay, so it tells us it's highlighted right here, C8. You can also decide to select multiple cells at the same time, and the group of cells, they would be called what you call cell range. So if I do this, right, this would be my cell range. So you would normally refer to a cell range using the cell address of the first and the last cells in the cell range, and they would be separated by a colon. So for example, a cell that includes A1, A2, A3, and so on, A4, A5, it would become A1 colon A10 because that's the selected. So I have A1 and it ends at A10. So I would put A1 colon A10. So let me select this again. So if I have 4 here, let me just bring it down. Right, so that's my selected area right here. So it would normally start with A1, right? So if I have to, it would be written A1 and it ends at A10. A1, A10. So A1 column A10. So the cell range would be A1 colon A10. Let's say I want to select more. So I want to select more columns, right? This would not remain the range would not remain A1, A10. Instead, it's going to be A1 but B10 because you notice I would have included another column, so it's going to be A1 because it starts here and it ends with B column, so it's going to be A1 B10. So A1 colon B10. To input or edit cell content, you'll first need to select the cell. So you click a cell to select it, and you would see a border around it. And the column heading and row heading would be highlighted. So you see it's up here in the name box, A, which is the column, 1, which is the row. The cell would basically remain selected until you click another cell. So if I click another cell, then I would end up with C3, C3 because it's in C column, row 3. You can also use the arrow keys, which can carry you to the desired cell. You may want to select areas. All you need to do, you put your cursor where you are desirous of, let's say, selecting a certain range. So you put your cursor here and you would click, you're holding and you would drag the mouse until you get all the cells that you would like to select, right? So you ensure that they're highlighted. So you keep dragging to the areas that you would like this to happen. So if it's just here, I can leave it here. Or let's say I want to bring it here, I can do this as well. So that's basically how you would select a specific area that you want to work with. In terms of cell content, any information you enter into a spreadsheet, it will be stored in a cell. So each cell can contain different types of content, which includes you can have text, you can have formatting, you can have formulas, and you can have functions. So cells can contain the text, they can contain numbers, as well as dates. Cells can also contain formatting attributes that change the way letters, numbers, and dates are displayed. For example, percentages can appear as 0.15 or 15%, as well as you can have the background color changing. So in this case, we have orange. In terms of formulas and functions, cells can contain formulas and functions that calculate cell values. In the example here, you have sum, which is SUM, and you have your bracket, you have B2, which means that it's in column 2, right? And we have B8, right? So you want the sum of B2 and B8. So if you notice, you have here, this is B2 column, $65, and then you have B8, which is 120. So you want the sum of this, so the formula would be this here. To insert content, you click a cell to select it. So this is the cell here. You type content into the selected cell. So we are dealing with Excel basics. right? Then you press enter on the keyboard. So we have it right here. So the content will appear in the cell and the formula bar, right? So if this is a formula bar, you're seeing Excel basics here. And of course, A1, because we are column A, row 1. To delete the cell content, you select the cell with the content that you want to delete. So I'm going to select here, and you press delete or backspace on your keyboard, and the cell contents will be deleted. There are times you can actually clear the content. So if I have this here, I can choose to right click, and there should be the option that says clear. Even delete is here, clear contents, and it's going to clear. There is a difference with deleting the content and deleting the cell itself. So let's say I have some numbers. Okay, within those, the cells here, right? And I want to delete a specific cell. What I would need to do is to select that cell that I would like to delete, and I can use delete from here, and it gives the option what I want to delete. So do I want to delete an entire row or the column itself? So it's just the row I want to delete, because that's what I want to remove. So I would click here and it's going to remove it. I can also choose to delete from here. Okay, see it says delete, and they're going to ask me what do I want to delete. Is it this sheet? Is it this cell? So I can click delete cells, and again I have the option of what specific I want to delete. So is it the rows or the columns? So I'm going to delete the row again. And if you notice, the cells below, they actually shifted up. So this ends this brief tutorial.